This is about conscious coherence. And this is now not about not about the frequencies, but about the bigger picture, about your own life, what it's about, how you live it, from where do you live it, etc., etc. This is one of my favorite sayings by one of the great teachers of this century. He's a Vietnamese monk, a Buddhist monk called Thich Nhat Hanh. And he says, your life is the instrument with which you experiment with truth. That is the experiment. Your experiment is with your own life. It's not an experiment in a lab. Your life is the experiment. Your life is the instrument. So my question to you is, sit and reflect on it for a minute. Do you know what your life is about? Do you ever sit? You're running from pillar to post every day, doing this, doing that, but do you know what your life is about? Will you know it in 10 years what your life is about? Or will you think, oh, where did they go? What did I do? And why did I do it? Is it meaningful, purposeful, passionate? Or is it just mundane? Oh, I'm going to work today. Thank God it's Friday. Or is it other? These are questions that I'm asking you, each one of you, to sit and reflect. This is life on Earth. Fragile. Unpredictable. This was when the volcano erupted in Iceland, when we were going to the workshop in Sweden. And we didn't know whether we were going, not going, etc. How were we going, etc. Everything was up in the air. We eventually did land up there, but that was the slide I put for that workshop, and that still holds, and it's precious. So conscious coherence is coherence plus your conscious awareness. Coherence is you innately have that coherence at some level, and when you use the RTLFs and the other Supercoherence tools, that will become, you will have that automatically. But your conscious awareness and your clear focused intent you can put into the mix to get super results, even better results. See that leaky bucket? That is what gets in the way. People say, build on your strength, know your strengths. No. You know your strengths, yes, but please know your weaknesses too. Not knowing your weaknesses and being blind to your weaknesses will be the leaky bucket. You will fill it and fill it and fill it with your so-called strength, and it will just leak away because you didn't look at the weakness part of it. So shore up the weakness, understand the weakness, and build on your strengths. So what is the fatal flaw, the Achilles factor? You know who was Achilles, don't you? Yeah. The great Greek warrior who had only one flaw. And this is an important thing to remember, that your strength will avail you nothing because you are only as strong as your weakest point. It's your weakest point which will give way. So shore up your weakest point, but first know it. But know it without judgment. Don't make things good, bad, and this and that. Leave those adjectives out. They are very loaded in this reality. You heard them as children being told you're a naughty girl, you're a bad girl, you're this, you're that, you're wrong, you're this, and you feel bad on all those counts. Leave it out. Emotional energy. You heard John Chen on the video from Bali, in Jakarta, wherever, where he talks about the emotional energy that is tied up in these major energy centers and how you have to take care of it and how it can create havoc or create hell or create heaven, the same energy form. So you have to learn to, we talk of conserving this energy, conserving that energy. Conserve your emotional energy. It's your currency. It's what you have in the bank of your health, of your wellness, of your happiness. So would you spend that like that? Would you go broke with that? Yeah. So learn to know that that is the currency and that you make it important. If you make something important, you will do it. If you don't make it important and you don't understand it's important, you will not do it. It will just go by. So conserving, containing, and conducting that force with skill is the important way. This is the cage that we put ourselves in. And this is a prison from which there is no escape. So when you open that cage, there is freedom. Recognizing your pattern behavior and challenging your pattern is, please do it gently. If you try and force patterns, you will get a reactionary response, which can be painful. So to shift a pattern, as long as you recognize it, do it very, very gently and in very small steps, and it will change. It's like, a small child who's having a big tantrum, and you try and force it to shut up. Do you think it will? No, not a chance. But if you gentle it, there's a chance that it will. So the whole thing is recognizing your pattern behavior and doing the opposite, but do it gently so that the old pattern remains and you institute a new pattern which is different. And then you feed that new pattern gently, step by step, moment by moment, action by action. And then the default, the old pattern just shifts as the new pattern assumes hold. Trust me on that. Don't do it harshly. Recognize your own default pattern. Of course, that goes without saying. So it says fear, force, pressure, manipulation, and control is the old way. You know what? It's never worked. It seems to work, but it never works. The new way is to elicit the result you want with gentleness, with kindness, with clarity, with softness, and with intelligence. You'll get a much better result than you ever imagined. The question is, which way do you prefer? Which one do you use? You may prefer one thing and you may use another. What is your default? Do you know that? These are important questions which can change the trajectory of a life. I like this one. Emotional coherence is the master key to our freedom. And emotions and coherence are not easy to put together because coherence is alignment and emotions are all over the place. Life is a dance and it's a game. Don't take it too seriously or take it very seriously. But treat it as a dance and a game because it is that. You'll have to dance to some tune. You're dancing to some tune anyway. And please remember that you always have an unseen partner, the one who is watching, who is there in every one of your 50 trillion cells. Do you know who you are playing with and who is playing with you? Do you know that? Who is watching you in every moment and hearing everything you say, hearing everything you think? Every one of your cells is doing that. So just remember that you always have this unseen player as a participant. Not only in you, but in anyone who's facing you. Please do that. Explore, experiment, experience. I'll say that to you 100 times because that's the new way. These are questions for you. Do you have curiosity? How is your sense of wonder? Is it alive or is it half dead? The older you are, the more your sense of wonder goes. And we think we know everything, and then we are half tired and this. So the sense of wonder that a child has in exploring, and the spring in the step and the sparkle in the eye are gone. Are you 50? Who is over 50? Yeah.
Wow.
Is your sense of wonder alive and well?
Yes.
Yes. Look for the new. Even if it's new for you. Somebody very was like, very casually said, there's nothing new under the sun. I said, maybe there's nothing new under the sun, but there's plenty that you don't know that is new for you. So explore something new. Look for the new. The new is fun. The new is novel. Not just a new dress, by the way, or a new car. That's not what I'm talking about. Take action. Try something new. New is exciting, can be fun, and can also be uncomfortable. And my question is, will you expand your comfort zone into your discomfort zone?
I've done that twice this weekend.
Good for you. Good for
So,
you.
yeah.
Becoming uncomfortable with the comfort, becoming comfortable with the uncomfortable. Because then your comfort zone becomes bigger and bigger, and you become a different person. Happier, fun, having life. Treat life as an exploration and an adventure. Before I was like, I have to do this, and then I'll get rich, and then this happen and that. Maybe. But you treat it as the perspective from which you live your life. You live your life from a particular point of view. Please remember that. Have you examined that point of view? So examine it. So this is going to the edge. This is how I like it. What is your choice for your life and your journey? High adventure or the morass of mediocrity? You can stay mediocre, it's no problem. And I call it the benefit of divine lunacy and divine discontent. Some bit of discontent is necessary. If you are only content, you don't go to sleep after having lunch. That's it. And a little bit of lunacy is good. Don't do normal. If you're only normal, that's just bad news. Please don't do only normal. And then from which place in yourself will you live your life? Please ask yourself that question. What is the central point from where I'm living my life? What is my life about? Bringing back to the same question. You won't know all the answers today, but please think on them. Please reflect on them. And have fun. This is about what we can explore in the other workshops or whatever. It says explore the world of subtle energy, the miraculous quantum realm. We'll discover that in much more detail. Not from a physics point of view, but uncover the treasures of the deep self. This is important. And discover your soul's purpose and truly tap into your strength to be who you can be. And learn new ways to conserve, contain, and conduct emotional energy using the SRTLFs. There are deeper things you can do. Can't do them all in a 2-day workshop, but we can go further.